All right, everyone. I don't talk about local politics very much, but I do want to talk about the Virginia governor race and the election coming up a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, November 7th. What I want to talk about is this video that was put out by the Latino Victory Fund. Link in the description below if you'd like to watch the disgusting video. The video shows a white man in a truck, everything associated with your stereotypical white man. He's white. He's driving a truck. He has a baseball hat on. He's got a Confederate flag. He has the "Don't Tread on Me" license plate. He has an Ed Gillespie bumper sticker on his truck. And that's what caught my attention. I was like, Ed Gillespie? What does Ed Gillespie have to do with anything? Because at first when I was watching this, I didn't know it was a political ad. But it's this white man driving in this truck, and you see these Latino and I think East Indian children who then grab a Muslim girl and tell her to start running because this man is hunting them down in his truck because he wants to kill them. And then at the end, they wake up and that's their nightmare. So playing on the fears of immigrants, completely false. And Emily Tish Sussman of the Center for American Progress, who I just saw on Tucker Carlson, is a complete and utter idiot. And I hope that they're paying her a lot of money to sound very stupid for defending this ad. As a Latino person, I feel very embarrassed to be a Latino watching this ad because this does not represent any Latino that I know, does not represent Latinos in any way, and definitely does not represent me. So the fact that Ed Gillespie would be associated in this ad is really, like I said, disgusting. I like to use that word. And I'll tell you why. Ed Gillespie is not a racist. Okay, I am a soft supporter of Ed Gillespie. I don't like Ed Gillespie. I didn't know if I was going to vote for him. And I refuse to have a yard sign of his or a bumper sticker. Like, I refuse to show any support for Ed Gillespie until I saw this ad. So this ad, what it's going to do is it's going to take a thinking white person, a thinking man in particular, and that might be a soft supporter or perhaps an undecided. They're going to watch this ad, and I hope that this drives them out to the polls to vote for Ed Gillespie for governor, Jill Vogel, and John Adams, and their local Republican delegates. They're trying to paint Ed Gillespie, who is in my own description of him, a cuck. A cuck to me is a white man who is so ashamed and beaten down that he is a man and that he is white, and he is so ashamed that he is not willing to fight for his own equality in the world, his right to a job, his right to earn a living, because he feels such guilt and shame for being a white man. That's what I consider a cuck, sort of like male feminists. You don't have you don't have anything to gain by being a feminist, and the feminists today are not the feminists that our mothers were or our grandmothers were. These are a different kind of feminists, and men that pretend to be feminists, most of the time they're just looking to get laid. But anyway, back to Ed Gillespie. In my opinion, Ed Gillespie is a cuck. He is a milquetoast, non-exciting establishment neocon. That's what he is. If you did not have a party affiliation next to his name, I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you whether he was a Republican or a Democrat. He is not exciting me. Like I said, I didn't know whether or not I was going to vote for him until I saw this ad, and I said, nope, that's the last straw. I definitely am voting for this man. Because I don't think that we can afford, sorry, that's Morticia playing around. I don't think that we can afford a Democrat in office in Virginia right now. I just don't think we can. We have our history at stake. History in this country is under attack. Over the weekend, the church in Alexandria where George Washington worshipped, there's a pew with a little golden plaque with his name on it, saying that he worshipped here, this was his family's pew, was removed because the president of Christ Church in Alexandria, Virginia, thought that people were felt unwelcomed and were feeling unsafe by having that little gold plaque with his name on it. And in honesty, it's because George Washington was a slave owner. And this is why I oppose the removing of Confederate statues, is because once the Confederate history is removed, they're going to go after our founders. They're going to go after Jefferson and Washington, and you're seeing it. Christ Church in New York City has also removed the memorial for George Washington. So it's already happening. I have a friend who portrays George Washington in New York City who says that a Hispanic woman over the 4th of July weekend actually accosted him and was flipping him off and shouting La Raza in his face because George Washington was a racist. The Theodore Roosevelt statue at the Natural History Museum in New York has been vandalized on more than one occasion this year. So when people argue that they want to put Confederate statues and historical figures in museums where they belong, that's not true, because otherwise you would not be having these attacks on museums as well. So they're lying to you when they say that these things should go in a museum and they would be fine with it, because they're not. They're interested in erasing history and changing it. And Howard Zinn, a liberal author who's also practicing revisionist history, is one of their heroes. I know who he is. And but let's get back to the video at hand. In the video, like I said, it's very cartoony. It's almost, I have friends that say that they're actually having full belly laughs at this. But I don't see it as a laughing matter, because they're trying to paint a man who would grant the vote for DACA as a racist when he's not. He is most unracist. He, because he chose to stand up for the statues, that makes him a racist. And because he was talking about our heritage and preserving our heritage in Virginia, that makes him a racist. When he talks about the Confederacy. Now, I shouldn't have to remind everyone that here in Virginia, in Richmond, that was the capital of the Confederacy, of the Confederate States of America. That's where the White House of the Confederacy is located. So when he's talking about our history, he's talking about, or our heritage, he's talking about our history, and you cannot erase it as much as you want to try. There are people like me that will fight you on that, and I am not a racist. I am Hispanic. I'm Native American, and I am Mexican American, but I'm an American first. Ed Gillespie is pro-gun, so if you're pro-Second Amendment, please vote for Ed Gillespie. Nothing will change as far as guns are concerned. Ralph Northam will try and put as many restrictions to gun ownership freedom in this state as possible. So please do not vote for Northam. Ed Gillespie, like I said, is an establishment neocon. There's no difference between him and a Democrat. Like I said, if there was not a symbol after their name, I honestly couldn't tell you which one was the Democrat, except that Ed Gillespie wants to, have more gun control, wants to grab guns, and he will tear down the statues. And I am urging anyone in Virginia who is a voter to please, I don't care who you vote for, but please, please, please do not vote for a Democrat. I'm not even telling you to vote for Ed Gillespie, because I could barely bring myself to want to vote for Ed Gillespie until today. Please do not vote for a Democrat. If you are a patriot, if you care about this state, you will not vote for a Democrat in Virginia for this election. And unfortunately, we do have the choice that we have. I'm sad about that. But I would rather get 3 things that I agree with passed or protected than have nothing that I agree with passed or protected. And just one other thing about this Latinos Victory Fund. Again, they make me ashamed to be a Latino. But this video of this man hunting the children down and wanting to kill them with every symbol of white American male on the truck and on this person, that it's almost cartoonish. It's so funny, but very offensive at the same time, because white men, you are under attack in this country. Last year, or actually this year in 2017, a 17-year-old girl by the name of Nabra Hassanin, 17-year-old girl, was walking to her mosque in Northern Virginia, in Fairfax, Virginia, when Darwin Martinez Torres, an illegal alien, by the way, they won't report that in the media. Very rarely in any of the newspaper or newscasts are they reporting this, but he is an illegal alien in Virginia, in America. He saw these group of girls walking to their mosques, and he began to chase them in his vehicle. I mean, exactly what happened in this commercial actually happened by Darwin Martinez Torres chasing these Muslim girls. He gets out of his vehicle with a bat. He chases the 17-year-old girl, Nabra Hassanin, 17 years old. He captures her. The rest of the friends are able to get away. He captures her. The medical examiner says she died of blunt force trauma. This man beat her to death. He raped her. He beat her to death. And he sodomized her with the bat. And he led the police to the body of this girl in a pond in Virginia. And I find it very offensive. And if I was her family, I would come out and I would speak out against this ad, and I would want it pulled, and I would demand the Democrat Party of Virginia to disavow this commercial. And Emily Tish Sussman of the Center for American Progress, I tell you now, you need to disavow this commercial, because this it's almost mocking what happened to this girl by a Latino. The Latino Victory Fund is almost mocking what they did to this girl and got away with, and that no one's talking about this in this election. And I think now this brings this into the election and the campaign to be talked about. But anyway, like I said, I'm ashamed to be a Latino because of this video. And I'm sorry for this girl who was killed, and these anti-Muslim illegal aliens that are committing these crimes. And the fact that Ed Gillespie is talking about MS-13 and the Zetas and the gangs coming up from South America is very much a concern to people in this country, because it has to do with gun violence in this country and drugs and robberies and burglary. It's all tied together. And I don't care what they say. If one illegal person is in this country and commits one crime against an American, that's one crime that should not have been committed against an American, because they should not have been here in the first place. So think about that. And when you go to the polls, don't vote for a Democrat. I don't care if you vote independent. Just do not pull the lever for Ralph Northam or Justin Fairfax or any of those people. Pull it for John Adams. Pull it for Ed Gillespie. Pull it for Jill Vogel, who is actually very liberal on social issues. Like, she doesn't care if you're gay or straight. She's very liberal on social issues, which is sort of the new Republicans. And, you know, go out and vote. Even if you don't want to vote, go out and vote against the Democrats. My vote for Ed Gillespie is a protest vote against the Democrats. So go out and vote. If you're going to vote Democrat, stay home or vote on November 8th. Talk to you later. I'm out in 3, 2,